Hello again, everybody. Gary Ferman and Matt Shodell here. And today we are talking Miami offense, specifically Shannon Dawson's year 2 offense and whether it can turn the tide in terms of restoring Miami to its glory days of scoring the football. And Matt, let's start out this conversation with the fact that since 2002, Miami has not had a year in where it has been in the top 20 in both total offense and scoring offense. 2002, that's what, 22 seasons now. So it's asking a lot, maybe, for this offense to reverse that trend when you take a look at the fact that they lost probably arguably the two best offensive linemen from last year's team in Matt Lee and Javion Cohen. The tight end was totally invisible in the offense last season. There is not a number one wide receiver on this team, and Colby Young is now at Georgia. And the best running back from last year, arguably, and Mark Fletcher is pretty likely to miss the start of the season, I think. We'll have to see how his rehab continues to progress as the year goes on. But the hopes have changed, I would say, because one Cam Ward is now in the building. Many people thought he was the top quarterback in the transfer portal, a guy that can transform this Miami offense, make Shannon Dawson look considerably better than he was made to look in year one by the, Tyler Van Dyke failures and, then, obviously Emory Williams and getting hurt and Ja'Cory Brown finishing out in the bowl game. So, Matt, let's answer the question. Can Dawson and Ward and the Miami offense buck that horrible trend of just poor offensive football at Miami?
Yes, they can.
How did I know that?
What do you even need me on the show for? You go on and on saying everything that I would have said.
I talked for 2 minutes. You get the next 2 minutes, and then we'll wrap
all I'll tell you is this: at the end of the day, we can write these fancy headlines and make these projections and say, here's what happened since whatever, and Miami sucks for 20 years, blah, blah. Like, there's nothing nobody doesn't know. But the only thing I'll add is we're going to look at the defense also, obviously. But really, it goes hand in hand because for Miami to be where it needs to be, you need everything to mesh. And I will say, since I'm just a numbers guy, I did take some time and I looked over the last 5 years at Miami's offense and defense. And I said, what'll be fun is, and this is nothing, anybody has ever done because I'm a genius. I came up with this by myself. I used to read these statistics books back in the day from some guy's last name, Bill James. For those of you that know who Bill James is, he basically invented statistical analysis. He wrote a whole giant book of baseball back when I was a kid. And I read the whole book. I mean, it's a giant book. He was the one who invented the whole thing, honestly, with all these different, runners and scoring position numbers, everything. Anyway, what I decided to do was take my Bill James and pertain it to the Miami Hurricanes. And I said, okay, if I take this, the four most important categories statistically nationally for any team is going to be total offense, total defense, scoring offense, scoring defense, period. And I know coaches will say scoring offense, scoring defense is most important, but though in order to get there, you got to get the yards. Okay. And what I did is I said, let me look at the national rankings over the last 5 years for Miami and then come with an average number. So in other words, if Miami ranked 20th in offense, in total offense, total defense, and was 40th in scoring offense and scoring defense, their total number would be 30 for that year. Okay. That makes sense. 40 plus 40 plus 20 plus 20 divided by 4 equals 30. And when I did that, it was actually very interesting because over the last 5 years, statistically, by far, the best year Miami had in those key metric areas, those 4 key metric areas, by far the best year they had was last year with Shannon Dawson, with Lance Guidry. Not even close. The average came out to 33.75, unless my math is terrible, but no, it is 33.75. They were 31st in total offense, 38th in scoring offense, 24th in total defense, and 42nd in scoring defense. Do the math, it's 33.75. The year before, we knew it was a bad year. They were 77.75 was the average. The year before that, 49.75. That was in 2021, by the way, when the offense was excellent. Total offense number 19. So they made the top 20. Gary said they haven't done the top 20 in scoring offense and total offense. They almost did that year. Scoring offense was 23rd. They hadn't done that since 2002.
Who was the quarterback that year?
De'Ara King started that year, by the way, not your boy. And then 2020, their average was 44, again, below the 33.75. And in 2019, it was 56. So this is a huge upward trend with these two new coordinators last year. The results weren't there. You know, they didn't take a knee. They had really bad turnovers at really inopportune times. Like they would drive down the field, rack up the yards for the offense, and then turn it over and not get the scoring offense number up. But really, those are the most important metrics. So while it didn't translate into wins, if you look at other programs, and I will look at other programs, we'll do a story on this at some point, you know, that upward trend, downward trend, those numbers are really important because those numbers translate over time into championship teams. Like if you can be in the top, if that 33.75 becomes top 20, you're winning, you're in the playoffs. You know, you could win a national championship. Like, for instance, Clemson. Okay, Clemson, I do have the Clemson numbers. Clemson in 2019, their average metric, 4.5. They were 5th in offense, 4th in scoring offense, 6th in total defense, 3rd in scoring defense. Like that's a championship team, right? So you got to get to that top 10 at some point. But they were 11.5 in 2020, and then they've really gone off the deep end the last 3 years, you know, in terms of they're outside the top 30 the last 3 years. So I am working on a story on that, as you can tell. But my point is, as much as we want to talk about Shannon Dawson and Cam Ward and whatever, you know, Gary stole the thunder with all that crap. So I'll just.
I didn't steal any thunder. I set the scene for 2 minutes, and you're now going on 5 minutes.
First of all, aren't these whole videos supposed to be 2 minutes? Aren't these little quick hitters that annoy people at top of the
screen? There's no time limit on it. It's not the Cane Sport Recruiting Minute.
It's called the Cane Sport Minute. It's not. Oh, this isn't the Cane Sport Minute.
No, this is not a minute. Obviously, you've just spoken for 5.
Well, I don't want to talk anymore. Bye, everybody. Thanks for joining us on the Cane Sport 20 minutes. 5 minutes, 55 seconds. Goodbye.
Let's try to move this along towards a conclusion here. But look, I know the expectations are really high. We got to see what Cam Ward looks like in a Miami Hurricane uniform. We'll get a glimpse of that at spring practice. I'm still a little bit just, want to see more. I'm not concerned about the departures of Lee and Javion Cohen on the O-line. I am. I mean, I think that they're going to have to try different guys out, including Zion Nelson, by the way. I think he's going to get a look in spring practice and get a chance to fill that left guard position. And, obviously they have Matthew McCoy, Louis Cristobal, and, maybe Tommy Kinsler gets a look there. I don't know. But they've got some bodies now in the O-line room. I'm just not convinced that any of them yet are Javion Cohen. So we'll have to see. And, same thing at center. Matt Lee was a damn good center last year. And we'll have to see how that shakes out here. And, of course, I'm a big believer that you got to have a guy, just an absolute dude out on the outside that can take a loss and turn it into a win on a single play. It's been a while since Miami's had a guy like a Michael Irvin and Andre Johnson. Even a Yatil Green. I'd take Yatil Green right now. It's like it's been a while. Okay. I mean, Charleston Rambo had a good year that 1 year, but I mean, Charleston Rambo couldn't even, he didn't make it into the NFL, much less have a Hall of Fame career like a Michael Irvin. So I think that there's still some work to be done. I'm hoping that when you look at the schedule, which is very, very easy, sorry to set you up, Mario, but this is an easy schedule this coming year. And this team's going to have a chance to win a lot of games. So I consider this an offense and development. Got to get the tight end back involved. Got to build depth in that running back room. Jay Allen is obviously back, but Fletcher, to me, has to prove he could stay healthy for starters. He was injured on multiple occasions. Henry Parrish, I think it's been proven now in his 2 years at Miami that he is a spot kind of guy. You're not going to put him out there for 20 carries in a game, for example. We got to see what Trevante Citizen looks like coming off of injury. And maybe even one of the freshmen, you got Johnson and who has been in the program. You got Jordan Lyle coming in that we get great feedback on from the people of St. Thomas. So there's some pieces there, just still to me, a lot of questions. And so let's take a look at what happens in spring practice, and we'll revisit this in the summertime and have this conversation again and see what it looks like going into the season. But I would say the Miami offense should be very good with Cam Ward making plays. Will it be the one that breaks that, a horrible streak of 22 seasons where Miami has not been top 20 in both total offense and scoring offense? Not ready to proclaim that just yet. So we will keep an eye on that. So for Matt Shodell, I'm Gary Ferman. Hope you enjoyed this story on the website today, and we'll see you next time, everybody.